Another weather system is set to bring more rain and thunderstorms to already flood-ravaged NSW on Sunday and Monday. Key points. The Hunter and Mid-North Coast may be hit with more storms today, but the weather system is slowly dissipating. The Hunter and Mid-North Coast may be hit with more storms today, but the weather system is slowly dissipating. Last night the Hawkesbury at North Richmond exceeded the major flood level. Last night the Hawkesbury at North Richmond exceeded the major flood level. Check the NSW says website for the latest evacuation orders. A vast swathe of the state could be affected, from the mid-north coast down to the Victorian border. The forecast rain is likely to mean more flooding in the Hunter and the Hawkesbury Nepean catchment. The Bureau of Meteorology's Dean Narramore said heavy rain would return despite the downpour easing today. While showers and rainfall has eased today and tomorrow, we still have numerous moderate and major flood warnings current, and then we have the next weather system moving in to bring another round of rain and thunderstorms, particularly Sunday and Monday, Mr. Narramore said. That is not good news for us here in eastern New South Wales and for much of the state. As we know, things are already saturated. People watch on as debris is carried by floodwater in the swollen Hawkesbury River. AAP, Dan Himbrechts. So that means we could have prolonged moderate and major flood levels on our rivers, particularly around the Hawkesbury and Nepean, and through the Hunter, where rivers will slowly fall and then maintain current heights, and possibly renewed rises with that additional rain on Sunday and Monday. NSW State Emergency Service, SES, Commissioner Carleen York said there had been 700 calls for help overnight, as well as 13 flood rescues. The Commissioner warned the South Coast could expect to see flooding over the weekend. So I call on the community to be aware of the flood risk, keep up to date with warnings or information we put out, and if need be, think about sandbagging and seeking assistance to protect their property, she said. Properties like this along the Hawkesbury River in Sydney are waiting for waters to recede. Xanth Gregory. The Commissioner warned the danger period had not yet passed. The rivers are very high, fast-flowing, there's a lot of debris and it's dangerous out there, she said. Last night, it was the Hunter region that bore the brunt of the low-pressure system, recording 50 to 100 millimeters of rain, with areas around the Barrington Tops receiving 200 mm. The Patterson and Williams rivers have reached moderate flood levels, and major flooding could be seen along the Gloucester River later today. M to mute, left and right arrows to seek, up and down arrows for volume. Watch 1 minute 31 seconds 1 minute and 31 seconds fire, and rescue teams rescue people and puppies in remote areas. An evacuation order was issued this morning for residents in low-lying parts of Gloucester, near the Barrington Tops in the hinterland of the lower mid-north coast. Flood levels along the Manning River at Tari are expected to reach 2.4 meters by tonight, and residents in Manning Point, Glenthorne and Croaky were warned they were at risk of becoming cut off as roads and bridges are flooded. Sydney is not in the clear despite avoiding much of the wild weather that was predicted to hit yesterday. This morning, an evacuation order was issued for parts of Lower Portland and Cumberland Reach along the Hawkesbury River, with residents in affected areas told to leave immediately. An evacuation order was issued for parts of Lower Portland and Cumberland Reach along the Hawkesbury River. Xanth Gregory. Evacuation warnings were issued for parts of Wiseman's Ferry in Sydney's northwest, with residents and businesses told to prepare to leave the area in the next few hours. Major flooding continues at North Richmond, but early this morning, the Hawkesbury River at Windsor peaked below the level seen in the March 2021 floods. Moderate flooding continues along the Nepean River at Menangle, but levels are falling at Camden Weir and Wallachia. SES Assistant Commissioner Sean Kearns said there were still about 70 evacuation orders around the state, including the northern rivers and parts of Outer Sydney. So we have still seen some river rises in the Hawkesbury River and the Nepean areas, and overnight, that's suddenly seen some rises around the Lower Portland area. We have issued an evacuation order to people in low-lying areas around Lower Portland this morning, he said. Northern parts of the Hunter have already seen a lot of rain, from Seal Rocks up to Dungog and into the Barrington Tops area, and the SES conducted multiple rescues in the area yesterday. However, the weather system is slowly losing its ferocity and rainfall predictions have been downgraded. Last night some residents around the Hawkesbury Nepean in Sydney were given the all-clear to return home by the SES, but floodwaters will take some time to drain away. At North Richmond last night, the river surpassed the major flood level by about 2 m. Communities cut off. Isolation is emerging as a critical issue facing communities across the flood-affected Northern Rivers region, as landslides and damaged roads leave people cut off from fuel, food and communication. Upper Wilson Creek resident Eichel White told ABC North Coast that things were intense. "We're completely trapped, and will be for a long time. There's a massive, over 200 m long and 4-story tall, landslide at the 10th crossing. There's no power out here, so no contact," she said. "2 doors down, only the roof is sticking out of the mud, so we can only assume she has not survived. Rescuers and police can't get in to get them out." Lismore's main street has been impacted by flooding. In Lismore, people are pinning their hopes on a fuel delivery today, so they can get access to essential services. Former Lismore Mayor and current Hart Transport Services CEO Isaac Smith has been using his service to help people in Lismore and is praying fuel trucks arrive soon. "Our supermarkets don't have a lot of food, if any. Our petrol stations also don't have petrol, so it's a really tough time to get people out," he said. Cars queued for up to 200 metres in Lismore this morning, as news of fuel shortage relief spread.